Hi, this is Chuck Lowry, Director of Sales and Marketing at Incisive Legal Intelligence, and I'm here at LMA 2009 at National Harbor, Maryland, and I'm happy to have with me today Tom Clay. Tom is with Altman Weil, the well-known legal consulting company, and Tom is going to chat with us for a couple of minutes today about the Legal Transformation Study 2020. Tom, maybe you can start by just describing briefly what the study set out to do.
All right, Chuck, I'd be glad to. What we wanted to do was take a longer look at the profession worldwide now in terms of the trends and the uncertainties that were affecting the profession and what that might do given certain scenarios out in the future. The study set out to establish the trends and scenarios, but more importantly, develop 4 scenarios that might describe what the legal profession looked like worldwide then.
Now, you commissioned the study not exactly during the fat years, but before the situation was as it is now.
Absolutely. We commissioned the study and thought it was a good thing to do, and things were looking pretty good. Big Law was doing great. Everybody was doing great. Then we know what happened. And the interesting part about it is it now pulls into play some of those uncertainties and trends even more starkly than before.
So we're actually noticing a telescoping of the results that they... Can you describe briefly the 4 scenarios?
Be glad to. The 4 of them, one's called Mega Mania Blue Chip. And that's obviously very, very large law firms and networks of law firms around the world, 10,000 service providers. That's one scenario. Another is called Expertopia, which interestingly a lot of lawyers like because it's bringing back the profession to being a real expert and not just grinding out hours. Then there's the e-marketplace, where more and more services are delivered through smart technologies that mimic what lawyers do over the web. And then there's techno-law, which is a little bit of that, but does mean there are law firms and they just use technology at a higher level.
But these 4 scenarios are not all mutually exclusive.
Absolutely not. There are many overlaps in them, depending on what happens with some of the interesting areas such as regulation. And certainly we saw just yesterday with the G20, there may be worldwide regulation. With those, as we see them coming out.
If Sarkozy and Merkel have their way.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, there is no bright lines between them all. There's some fluidity.
And this study looked both at the U.S. market and the broader global market.
It did, Chuck. It was worldwide.
Yeah. Let me ask a question from a somewhat selfish perspective here. How would people who are involved in the profession get access to and learn from the work that you have done?
The study. Well, the study's for sale, so you can always get access by purchasing it. And it's over 200 pages, and it is dense. So if you set off down that path, you better be prepared to spend some time.
Good. All right. And do you think that the conclusions that you reached during the study. Who did the study for you, by the way?
A group called Decision Sciences International, and they do, for lots of businesses around the world, scenario planning.
So this was a real strategic study.
Very much so, right.
And do you think that the conclusions that they came to are probably even more important now that the stakes are higher than they would have been in the fat years?
I think without a doubt. They're called plausible, which means obviously they could happen. But now, if people don't look at some of these trends and the uncertainties and recognize we may be going through not a dip, but a change, a real systemic change, I think you're going to have tough sledding.
Good. All right, well, thank you very much. Again, we're here at LMA 2009 with Tom Clay at Altman Weil, talking to us about the Legal Transformation Study 2020. Thanks, Tom, and we'll speak to you again.